An 18-year-old teenager who has been a high achiever throughout high school falls in love with a girl who has just moved into the neighbor's house. Things are going well between the two lovers until the boy finds out about the past of the girl. What happens next? Guess you'll have to stick around to the end to see how the whole story unfolds. Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we will give you a recap of the film The Girl Next Door. Spoilers ahead, obviously, and without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie starts with the voice of the director who is explaining acts to the actress and is telling her what positions to take. We then see a camera lens and the scene shifts to the Westport High School, where the senior year students are all gathered for their senior year photo. After getting done with their photographs, we see seniors enjoying their graduating year shenanigans. Some are getting group photos while others are dancing together. Meanwhile, there is a constant narration in the background where the students are talking about what they will remember about their time at school. It's amazing that students out there are having good memories in their high schools. Then we see Matthew Kidman, the lead of the movie, sitting in the common area, without a single word written in that section of what he would remember about his school. While others are writing about their best memories, all he can remember is the mail that he received from Georgetown about him getting in. Just then, we hear the school bells ring and all the students are gathered in the gymnasium. There, a senior announces the prom, and we hear the loud cheers coming from the benches. But then, the principal takes over the mic and tells the students that their student council president, Matthew, wants to talk. When Matthew takes over the mic, he looks very nervous, but he starts with the basics and asks everyone how are they doing. I mean, how nerdy one has to be to ask his question from a bunch of students right after they got the news of their prom. However, Matthew keeps on going with his nerdy lecture about how the student council was able to raise around $25,000 for a student from Cambodia so he can come to the United States. No one is really interested in that information, obviously. So, once Matthew finishes, we see that all the students are running toward the parking lot. Matthew is staring at the group of students. Just then, Eli and Klitz come in and ask Matthew how these students can skip classes every day. Matthew, who is still staring at them, says they don't care, and probably the three of them should go as well. Ellie and Klitz don't agree and tell him that they are going to class. The scene shifts to a highway where we see a sheriff sitting in his police car waiting on the side of the road. He sees a Jeep coming in his side mirrors, and when he notices that the license plate on the car is covered, he gets out to stop them, but none of them stop the car. The very last car to cross the policeman is Matthew's, and as he goes past, the sheriff starts following him. Matthew speeds up his car, and in the chase, the policeman hits a car coming from the opposite side. So, just as quickly as the chase started, it ends. Matthew snaps back to reality, realizing he's still sitting in the school parking lot. He chuckles to himself. Well, I guess that was a car-razy daydream. Looks like I'm still grounded in reality. Imagining what could go wrong, he dismisses the idea of going to the beach and goes back home, where he sees an unfamiliar car standing outside their neighbor's house. He takes a look at the car, but no one is around it, so he just goes inside the house where Mr. Peterson has come to visit their family. Mr. Peterson greets Matthew by calling him Mr. President and congratulates him for his admission at Georgetown. Matthew tells them about his moral fiber speech that he needs to prepare for getting the scholarship. At night, while he is rehearsing his speech outside his house, he sees a beautiful girl taking some stuff from the same car he saw in the morning. Matthew goes back to his room and calls Eli to tell him about the girl next door. He is still on the call when Danielle comes into her room, which is very much visible from Matthew's room, and she starts taking her clothes off. Matthew is staring at her. However, suddenly, Danielle looks behind and sees Matthew staring at her. She rushes towards Matthew's house, and just then Matthew hears his father calling him from downstairs. Matthew goes down and sees his parents and Danielle. His mother asks him to go with Danielle and show her around. Danielle takes Matthew along and takes him into a dark street. There, she asks him if he liked what he saw in the room, and then tells Matthew to strip naked on the road. Matthew does as Danielle asks him to do.
There. Happy now?
And then both go to a restaurant. Matthew tries to play it cool, but Danielle understands that he is a nerd and hasn't done anything exciting lately. After they get done with the food, she drops him back at his home. In the morning, Matthew tells everything to Eli, who says that you are dumb for not kissing the girl. Matthew regrets that, and after that, while he is sitting in his class, Danielle comes to pick him up from school. They spend a lot of time together, and Matthew even misses his quizzes. Danielle convinces Matthew to swim in his principal's backyard swimming pool. After that, Danielle meets Eli and Klitz, and the four of them go to a party together. The next day, Eli unveils the reality of Danielle to Matthew by showing one of her adult movies to him. Matthew gets baffled after watching that, but Eli tells him that instead of getting mad, he should take her to a motel. At night, Matthew picks up Danielle and takes her to a cheap motel. Nothing happens at the motel, but Danielle gets upset about such behavior from Matthew. He confronts her and asks her why didn't she tell him about her past, to which Danielle replies that she liked the way he admired and looked at her. The next ends on a bad note, and the next day, Matthew goes to school in a miserable condition. After coming back, he goes to Danielle's house and confesses his feelings. Just then, a man named Kelly comes out of her bedroom, and Danielle asks Matthew to leave and they will talk later. But Matthew doesn't leave, and together the three of them go to a strip club. Matthew tries to act cool and even asks Kelly for a cigar. After that, Matthew goes to Eli and Klitz and tells them about his experience at the strip club. The next day, when Matthew leaves the school premise, he finds Kelly standing outside his school. Kelly is talking to random schoolgirls and is trying to convince them about getting into the adult film industry. When Matthew arrives, together they go to a bank where they spend some time on the work stuff related to the Cambodian guy for whom Matthew has collected all the funds. Matthew introduces Kelly as his student advisor to the bank staff, and after that, Kelly drops Matthew at his house and goes to pick up Danielle. Matthew asks them where they are going. Kelly tells him about a conference happening in Las Vegas. At night, Matthew takes Eli and Klitz along and they go to Vegas to attend the adult film conference. Seeing Matthew there, Danielle gets distracted and gets off the stage. Kelly takes Matthew away on the side and tells him to not interfere with his business, but he doesn't leave. On the other hand, Eli and Klitz start pretending that they are producers and start interviewing some actresses. Both are exposed by a bouncer and had to run away. Before leaving, Matthew hands a paper to Danielle and tells her that she is better than that. I must say, Matthew deserves an award for putting so much effort into his relationship that wasn't even a relationship. The next morning, when Matthew is sitting in his room, Danielle comes back. While things are back on track for both of them, one day, Kelly barges into Matthew's classroom and takes him away after grabbing him from the collar of his shirt. Kelly takes Matthew away from the city, and first, he asks Matthew to perform some vulgar things with him.
I'm joking, man.
But later tells Matthew that if he thinks Danielle is worth it, then he must do something for him to make up for the lost business. Kelly asks Matthew to steal something from an adult industry producer, Hugo Posh. Matthew successfully steals the trophy, which is in the shape of a man's private part, and runs away from Hugo's house and calls Eli. When he asks about the time from Eli, he tells him that he is 30 minutes late for his scholarship dinner, for which he was preparing a speech. Danielle helps him in getting ready, and the couple goes to the scholarship dinner. Kelly had given Matthew an ecstasy pill because of which he is freaking out. So, when he goes on stage, he throws away the cards and gives a spontaneous speech about what moral fiber is. He says it's more about finding something that you truly regard and then putting in the effort to make things work. He gets a lot of appreciation, but still doesn't get the scholarship. The next day, he comes to know that the money he deposited into the bank for the Cambodian guy has been taken out by Kelly and the account is closed. The bank staff tells Matthew that he could go to jail for it. So Matthew goes to Danielle and tells her everything. To raise money and help Matthew, they go to Hugo and convince him to work with them in making a new adult movie. Matthew brings Eli and Klitz on board as well. Their ideal is that they will shoot the movie on the prom night of school. Eli and Klitz work on shooting the video and making it possible. Danielle helps in arranging 2 adult movie stars. Seeing the adult movie stars, a few high school boys come to Matthew and he offers them to get featured in the movie. Eli and Klitz work on making different sets around the school, but when it comes to acting, the high school boys fail. So, Klitz had to perform in place of them. Everything goes well, and after dropping Eli and Klitz off with their new girls from the movie industry, Danielle and Matthew go on a cruise in their limousine. The couple can be seen getting involved in romantic and intimate scenes while they are in the car. The next morning, Eli calls and tells Matthew that the tape is missing. As soon as Matthew enters the house, he finds his parents, his school principal, and Kelly sitting on the dining room table with the tape in Kelly's hand. Kelly tries to blackmail Matthew to pay him money or he will show the tape to his parents, but he doesn't agree. Kelly plays the tape in front of Matthew's parents and principal, but the reaction from the parents and principal is the opposite. Seeing the sex education movie made by Matthew, they appreciate his work, and Kelly had to leave without gaining anything. After that, the sales of the movie go crazy as the informational video is selling like a hotcake around the country. Both Hugo and Matthew make a lot of money from it, and the same Matthew who was looking for a scholarship goes to Georgetown with his own money. The movie ends with the narration of Matthew in the background, saying that he will always remember the girl next door. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.